Quaid Azam, Part 237. 5 days later, 30 July 1940, the War Cabinet considered Churchill's suggested remodeling. Cabinet would not be able to promise in advance a body which would frame the constitution on which the Indian political leaders may agree. And it was initially told that Churchill got the power and he was there. Churchill in fact swore him. On 10 May 1940, Winston Churchill was sworn in as the Prime Minister of a war-challenged Britain. On 10 May 1940, during the war in fact. Also, that a future British Parliament must not feel restrained in any way by what could be construed as immediately binding upon it. Of course, all this could only be taken up after a conclusion of the war. Churchill then expunged reference to the time limit for Dominion status and provided instead for Britain to assist the creation, with the least possible delay after the war, of a body to devise a constitution, which should primarily be the responsibility of the Indians themselves. India's right to frame its own constitution, a time limit for Dominion status, and as a symbol of India's equality, the treaty, they were all now gone. So the suggestion of a Dominion as a partner member of the Commonwealth, this was then promulgated on 8 August 1940, the Viceroy's offer, emphasizing continuity with past policy, as had been expressed in October 1939, and the future objective remained Dominion status. Also, that the present offer was an enlargement of the Viceroy's Council to include party representatives and establishment of a war consultative committee. Britain's obligation to the minorities was spelled out in a passage which the Muslims hereafter were to cling to as a pledge. It goes without saying that His Majesty's government could not contemplate the transfer of their present responsibilities for the peace and welfare of India to any system of government whose authority is directly denied by large and powerful elements in India's national life. What was like a pledge to the League's being post-Pakistan resolution of 23 March 1940 was akin to a prior announcement of the breakup of India to most other observers. Not surprisingly, this offer was rejected by all the parties. The AICC concluded that Britain had no intention to recognize India's independence and would, if they could, continue to hold this country indefinitely in bondage with British exploitation. The Viceroy thereupon advised, the Cabinet agreed, and that under these circumstances there was no need to proceed with any enlarging of the Viceroy's Council either. The Working Committee of the Muslim League, however, took a contrary stand. It expressed its satisfaction with the Viceroy's announcement and gave a mandate to Jinnah to seek further details from Linlithgow. However, after his talks with the Viceroy, Jinnah too rejected the offer, for he wanted a Muslim League majority among the Indian members of the Executive Council, which the Viceroy did not, rather could simply not agree to. Though Jinnah had legalistically queried that if the League was willing to assume the bulk of the responsibility in running the government, while the Congress was practicing civil disobedience, What would happen if the Congress reversed its stand and decided to join the Council again?